I was wondering, um, what's the demographic of my viewers? Like, how many of you are Christian, and how many of you are atheist, and how many are somewhere in the middle, agnostic, searching, seeking, whatever you want to call it? Because I feel like because of the way the internet works, if you don't agree with Christianity, you're more likely to comment and engage. And if you do agree, then I don't know, maybe drop a like, but not really engage in the comments. But it's never as simple as that because there's always bots too. There's a lot of bots. Even on my channel, a lot of the comments I get are bots. They're not real people, and you can tell because, the channel was made a week ago, 0 subscribers. Um, and it's you can tell when AI is writing stuff. When AI was first coming out, it was a little more advanced. It was harder. We were just learning. We were just trying to figure it out. But now at this point, it's like, oh, that's AI. Oh, that's fake. The one thing that AI is getting really good at is pictures and video. Um, there's some videos, man, some pictures too, where it's like, dang, dude, like you really, it takes a while to really look at it and see, is it AI or not? Maybe I'm just too old. Maybe I'm just, you know, I don't know. Maybe the young people can see and can tell right away, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyways, yeah, I want to know, how many of you are Christian? How many of you are atheist? How many of you are agnostic, somewhere in the middle, anything like that? Let me know because I'm interested to see. Because I feel like I said, most of the time it's non-believers who engage with my content, which is fine. Um, I love, good, meaningful conversation. The problem is that a lot of the problem is the bots. There's a lot of bots on YouTube. Um, and I don't know. I feel like I don't know. When I first started doing all this, um, I would reply to as many comments as I could. But now it's like, I don't even know if you're a real person. I don't know if these are real people commenting. And so what's the point of trying to engage with someone who's probably not real? It's a waste of my time. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are you guys real people or not? Am I have I is every subscriber I have all 170? Is that all of them bots? I had one guy. I think this was a real guy. He he commented and he was making fun of my subscribers and he was like, "You only have 160." And I was like, "I don't have, or 150." I was like, "I have 160." And he was like, "I knew you'd correct me." It's like, hey man, I worked for every single one of those, so I take pride in all 170 of you. I don't know the exact number; it's around 170, but I'm grateful, that I have the opportunity to spread Christianity. Christianity is the truth, and everyone needs to know it. It's not as simple as like what's your favorite football team or what's your favorite dessert. Christianity is life and death. Um, Hi, hello, and I can't pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Hello, thank you for dropping by. Yeah, Christianity is, if I forget who it was, Pascal's wager, I think it was, where he said, if Christianity is true, then it's the most important thing in the world. And if it's false, then who cares? And I think that's really true. If you think about it, let's just say that Christianity, let's say it is true, right? And you don't submit your life to Jesus, well, then you're going to spend an eternity in hell. Let's say that it's not true, then you die, and nothing happens, and who cares? It doesn't really matter. So, uh, a person who weighing those odds, which one should you go with? Well, you should go with Christianity is true. The problem is that Christianity isn't as simple as just, picking the best out of two options. Christianity is a system of belief. It's holistic. You have to take, I hate this term, I hate saying it's a relationship because there's so much negative connotation that goes with that because it is a religion. It is it's not simply a relationship like you'd have with a friend or a coworker or a brother or a sister or a mother. It's so much more than that. And when people say it's not religion, it's relationship, it's like I get what you're saying, but there's so much more to it. That's why I don't like saying it's a relationship because it is a religion. It's a religion and it's a relationship. But if you just say it's a relationship, it's I think that leads down to some problematic stuff. Hello, Eric. How's it going? Thank you for dropping by. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't. Eric said hi. Hello. How's it going? Well, what else should we talk about? Yeah. Pascal's wager is hi. Hello. Lots of people saying hi. Oh, it's just the two of you just saying it a bunch of times. Well, hello. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you guys for dropping by. Um, Man, what else was I going to talk about? There's so much stuff to talk about. So much going on in the world right now. But my goal with my channel isn't to give commentary. There's a lot of people that do have Christian commentary. Who's that one guy? Who's he's the president um of a theological seminary. What's his name? Albert Moeller. Albert Moeller. He does commentary on social events that are going on, and he does a really good job. I used to listen to his program all the time. I haven't in a while. I need to get back into it. Um, James White does a lot of commentary on things that are going on. He can kind of blab though, you know. So if you have like a spare hour to listen to him ramble, then I guess you know you could do that. I've been listening to Six Seven. Yes, Six Seven. Very nice. Um, I know you meant to say seven. Six Seven. That's yep, 6 7. Very cool. I've been listening to James White since like 2020, probably late 2019. I've started listening to him. So I've been listening to him for years. He's been super helpful. But there are some times during his program where you just have to fast forward and just skip because he just blabs about nothing. Kind of like I'm doing now. I'm not even talking about anything. Nice background. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, James White. Yeah, he can blab. So can I, though. I mean, if there's nothing to talk about, you know, there's nothing to talk about. Um, but yeah, anyone wanna call in with questions for about Christianity? Oh, we got a call. We got a missed call. Well, whoever you are, go ahead and try calling again. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. It didn't even ring on my end. Very strange. I don't know. Yeah, you can subbing to small creators. Oh well, thank you. I definitely am a small creator. I don't know if you were here. I was just talking about earlier how I there was a guy and he was in my comments and he was making fun of me because I only had like 150, 160, I don't know, not very many subscribers. And he was like, "Oh, you only have 150?" And I replied and I was like, "I actually have 160. Thank you very much." And he was like, "I knew you'd say that." And it's like, well, yeah, because I worked for every single one of those subs, you know? Every single like 5 videos you upload, you'll get one subscriber maybe. So I worked for all of them, every single one, all 170 of you. I worked for all of them. And I appreciate every single one of you. 6 7. I don't know what that word is. I'm not saying that. I don't want to say something and it, you know, it can be something weird, you know. I don't want weird videos of me saying weird things out on the internet. Nobody knows who I am though, you know, so it doesn't matter. If I was like one of the top tier Christian creators, then yeah, I definitely would get clipped. But I'm not popular enough, so I don't have to worry about that. I can say 6 7 and do all that goofy stuff, and I don't have to worry about it. Hey, whoever this person was, I'm not going to say your phone number, obviously, but I missed your call. I don't know if you hung up or if I don't know what happened, but you can go ahead and call back. and I will do my best to answer it. Hopefully, I don't know if it's something on my end or something on your end or a good mixture of the both. I don't know. But yeah, call back. Let's wow. Wow indeed. I always have a drink. In fact, I have two drinks with me right now. I have tea. I love tea. I love coffee, but I love tea as well. And some water because the reason is because my first debate I ever did was with Robert Setlock, and we were like 5 minutes into the debate. We just got it going, and I started coughing like really bad, and I had to leave the debate like in the middle of us having a debate. Had to leave and go get some water, and it was so embarrassing, so humiliating. And I learned my lesson that you always have to have water nearby if you're going to Bible verse of the day. Well, I wasn't reading, I was listening. I drive a semi truck for a living, and I was listening through Second Kings today. And the part where David and Bathsheba's baby dies, and he gets up and he says, "Oh, he won't come to me, but I'll go to him." That's such a consolation. It's such a comfort to me, because I've had similar experiences in my life of loss, and having that comfort of I won't get to see my children, but on this side of heaven, but I'll get to see them eventually. I think that that's a huge comfort in the Christian faith. And there's another part where David's on the run because his child took over the kingdom, and there's kind of a civil war going on. And then he says, someone asks him about it. He says, whatever God decides to do with me, that's what He'll do with me. And I think it's such a beautiful example of the sovereignty of God. In tough situations, when you lose your job, or when something didn't go the way you want, or you're struggling with something, having that comfort of knowing that God's gonna do what He's gonna do. God's gonna take care of whatever He needs to take care of. Jesus says that He says, look at the flowers, look at the birds. He takes care of them. How much more is He going to take care of us? So that comfort of knowing that no matter what happens, no matter how dark it gets, how bad things look, God's always there for us. He's always going to take care of us. He's always going to accomplish His will. And Paul says, no weapon formed against us can stand, can prosper. And that verse is kind of thrown out a lot. It's thrown around so much that it almost loses its power. In the Christian life, knowing that the enemy will not conquer us, we are more than conquerors. Underrated channel. Thank you, I appreciate that. We're more than conquerors, and these are kind of, they get thrown around so much that we lose the meaning. For Paul to say in the first century that we are more than conquerors, his audience would have known what he was talking about, because the Romans were conquerors. They conquered the known world. They subjugated everyone and everywhere that they went. And so for Paul to say we are more than that, the audience would have said, wait, you're saying we're more powerful than the Romans? We're more powerful than Caesar? We're more powerful than the Senate? What does that mean? It's mind-blowing. And for us, it loses the weight, because it doesn't translate properly to our context. What does it mean for us to be more than conquerors today? Well, it means that we're more powerful than the president. We're more powerful than the World Health Organization. We're more powerful than the Illuminati, whoever the heck they are. Like, we're more powerful than all the world governments put together. We're more powerful than, you name it, Fauci. I'm just thinking about during COVID when Fauci locked us all down. Like we're more than that. And I think that I don't want to get into like prosperity, charismatic nonsense, but there is a lot of truth in knowing that with God on our side, the enemy will not overtake us. There's nothing that can happen to us that God hasn't preordained, and He's not right there with us through the thick of it. whatever trials come our way, whatever pain, whatever suffering comes our way, God's going to use it for good. Think about Joseph when his brothers sold him, and when he was in prison, and all the things that he went through. What does it say in Genesis 50? It says that the brothers meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And I think that it's really important that we always remember that whatever happens to us, whatever pain, whatever trials, whatever suffering that we go through, God is working it for our good. He's causing all things to work together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. We have to hold on to that. That's not prosperity gospel. The prosperity gospel is a heresy. But knowing that God is with us and He's for us, and He's causing everything to work together for our good. Every bad thing that we've ever been through, He's causing it to work for our good. That is, that's such a consolation. And I could go on about the charismatics and the prosperity gospel, because I spent like 12 years in the prosperity gospel. I was part of a Word of Faith church. I was the youth pastor actually at a Word of Faith church. And so I actually personally I have a picture with me and not what's his name? Not Kenneth Hagin. What's the guy's name? It doesn't matter. Keith Moore. Keith Moore. I have a picture with me and Keith Moore, which, if you don't know Keith Moore, he's like really high up there in the Word of Faith. Picture with me and Tony Cook. Tony Cook is excellent. He should get out of the charismatic movement. I mean, he's a really stand-up guy, just a great guy. I remember he was preaching at a pastor's conference, and his whole thing was, we need to preach the whole Bible. We need to preach all of it, not just the sections that we want to talk about. We have to preach on all of it. And growing up in Word of Faith, we didn't do that. We did topical preaching. We didn't do expositional. So there were whole books that we never touched. There were whole sections of the Bible that when I read the Bible for myself the first time, I was amazed. I was shocked that my pastor never talked about this stuff. Also, I'm like 10. Oh, okay. Well, you should not be on the internet. What are you doing on YouTube, dude? Oh my goodness. Well, anyways, I guess thanks for being here. I don't know. You should definitely make sure that your parents know that you're online. I have a 10-year-old, and I don't let him on YouTube. Heck no. There's so much weird stuff on here. I would definitely, just be careful. Yeah, be careful. What was I talking about? Word of Faith. Yeah, I should do a stream about Word of Faith. I think the next time we do a stream, I'll talk about Word of Faith, charismatic, Pentecostal stuff, because actually on this channel, there's a video about my journey from Word of Faith to Calvinism. I know the dirty word Calvinism. Oh no. But my journey's crazy. I was really high up in Word of Faith. I was the youth pastor. I was their technical director. Like I was. What time will you stream? Probably some point tomorrow. I don't know. My work schedule is crazy. I have a family, and so I basically stream whenever I have time. I don't really have a set schedule or anything like that. But if you're interested in that, I would watch that video that I posted a while back. It's called Word of Faith to Calvinism, or Word of Faith to Reformed Theology, something like that. I don't know. It's on my channel. It was with Anthony Uvenio. Anthony Uvenio. I think that I always pronounce his name wrong. He's got a Italian last name. He's a great guy too. Go subscribe to his channel, Reformed Rookie. He's a really, really great guy. We both debated the same guy. We both debated Chris May. That was a fun debate. That was a really fun debate. It was fun to watch Anthony debate Chris as well. I feel like I feel like his tactics were the same. Who channel? His name is Reformed Rookie. If you look up Reformed Rookie, he has about 10,000 subscribers. Great content. Reformed Rookie. Anthony Uvenio is his name. Yeah. We both debated Chris May. That was a fun debate. I would definitely debate Chris again if he ever wanted to do another debate. He wanted to do a debate right after we finished our first debate, and that didn't really sit well with me. I wanted some time for the debate to sit. I don't feel like doing back to back debates like that, especially when the topics are so similar. I don't think that that's helpful. I don't think that, it can be overwhelming to the audience. Not that I have an audience, I don't. But yeah. But yeah, well, I've gone for about 20 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for now. I don't know. I don't know when I'll stream again. Like I said, I basically just stream whenever I have time. I work full time. I have a bunch of kids. I have a family. It's hard to find time. Basically whenever I have a free minute, I'll hop on here and try to talk with some people. Talk about Christianity. Talk about theology. Talk about the Bible. I love the Bible, man. I can't. I mean, I love it so much. And yeah, there's a lot more I could say about that, but I've gone for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you everyone who tuned in. Thank you all for the comments. Someone commented a unicorn. Or a goat. I don't know what that is. A blue goat. Interesting. Anyways, yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that is.